Nothing in the records indicated immediate risk. All shifts were fully staffed. The reports followed the standard established by the medical board. Medication charts were up to date. Keys were returned on schedule. Even so, a specific set of documents did not add up. The dates were correct, the signatures valid, and the stamps official. The error was not in the form. The error was in the outcome. Fear appeared where it should not exist. One name surfaced repeatedly in the files of the critical wards, not as the author of a report, not as an admitted patient, but as a recurring presence. When the name vanished from the records, patient symptoms intensified. When it reappeared, silence took over the wards. The pattern was not random, it was conditioned, systematic. Fear did not emerge by chance. Someone placed it there, deliberately. Beechworth Mental Asylum operated for decades under public protocols, located in the state of Victoria, Australia, after opening its doors in 1867. Therapeutic isolation, physical restraint, controlled sedation, rigid routines. The institution received those whom society could not keep visible: children without legal guardians, adults without a conclusive diagnosis, people deemed irrecoverable. Everything was authorized. Everything was documented. Nothing was clandestine. This system operated continuously, and it learned. There was a staff member with unrestricted access to the isolation wards, night supervisor, responsible for cases that did not respond to conventional methods. In the records, he appeared as Edgar William Hawthorne. No criminal history, no relatives listed, no visits recorded, no known external ties. Evil with a badge. Medical reports indicate that patients subjected to his sessions exhibited specific changes. They did not scream, they did not react, they obeyed. They entered lucid and left hollow. The files describe a gradual loss of identity, reduced speech, fixed gaze, absence of resistance. The sessions were not listed in the standard protocol. They were justified as advanced observation. No formal complaints. Hawthorne maintained control. He never raised his voice, never hurried, never missed the schedule. The sessions always took place within the same time window. Lights partially dimmed, doors locked, curtains closed. He spoke during the procedures, not to the patients, to something that did not respond audibly. There were long pauses, there was attentive listening, then instructions. The phrases were repeated. They did not appear in any medical manuals. Symbols appeared on the walls, marks that did not correspond to physical restraint, deep scratches, repeated signs. Patients in different wards repeated the same words. Children with no contact between them drew the same figure. A patient named Thomas Reed, admitted in 1947 at the age of 14, was documented as having learned to draw symbols identical to those used by Hawthorne without ever leaving his isolation ward. His drawings were found on sealed walls, walls to which no patient had access. He never explained how he got there. He never explained why he drew them. He only said, "He teaches." Medical records describe Thomas as catatonic after the sessions. He remained motionless for hours. When he spoke, he repeated phrases in an unknown language, phrases no physician was able to translate. He died in 1952, at 19 years old. Official cause, heart failure. The body showed symmetrical marks on the chest, a pattern identical to what would appear in other patients decades later. His final drawings were found on the wall of his cell, symbols that continue to appear in modern investigations. The night of the incident is recorded in the files. Alarms manually disabled. Doors opened from the inside. There was no general riot, no running, no calls for help. Sedated patients and others in the midst of psychotic episodes surrounded Hawthorne. Some moved slowly, others watched in absolute silence. None of them showed hesitation. The attack was not impulsive, it was anticipated, collective, prolonged, silent. Hands, teeth, improvised objects. The body was found disfigured, unrecognizable. The report describes injuries incompatible with a single attacker, multiple fractures, concentrated trauma, signs of inverted restraint. The burial took place the following day. Sealed coffin, no wake, no family, no friends, no name on the headstone. The name was removed from active records, but the voice remained. The same phrases began to be heard again, now without a physical source, now without human presence. They did not come from specific corridors. They did not respect walls or distance. They were perceived directly as induced thought. Children reported the man who taught without touching. They described clear instructions, sequences, rules, silent punishments for those who made mistakes. Patients exhibited induced self-mutilation, symmetrical cuts, repeated patterns, strength beyond normal, extreme obedience. No calls for help during the episodes. Medical files began to record possessions, not as a diagnosis, as an occurrence. The entity did not wander, it remained. It operated in the same wards, repeated the same method: isolation, pain, submission. The hospital officially closed in 1995, but the reports continued. Paranormal investigators visited Beechworth in 2019. They reported the same sequence: isolation, voice, obedience. One investigator disappeared for 4 hours inside the building. She awoke in a sealed ward, with marks on her arm she could not explain. The symbols were identical to those from 1950. Modern visitors report identical sensations: a sudden urge to separate from the group, a desire to remain in specific rooms, aversion to light, attraction to silence. Possessed nurses reported memory lapses, hours lost. They awoke in locked wards, with dried blood on their hands, with no memory of what had occurred. The pattern does not depend on time. It does not depend on specific people. It persists because it was learned. One man, one method, one transition. They killed the man. They freed what he was becoming. The case remains active and observable. Nothing ended here. If you want to continue following these records, subscribe to the channel. Enable notifications. Leave a comment. Could you sleep in a place where something is still teaching? The observer reads patterns and continues only when there are those who observe alongside him.